It's great to be here in Seville, in Spain, recording with the great Royal Seville Symphony Orchestra and Maestro Noam Sur, this new project called Alchemy.
And I couldn't have asked for nicer partners, for a more cooperative orchestra, and for a more interesting project.
We had the luck to collaborate for this CD with the Royal Seville Symphony Orchestra.
It has been a dream being back here in Seville, as I used to be a member of the orchestra around over a decade ago.
Para nosotros es un orgullo, absolutamente un orgullo, contar con Fábio Brum en esta grabación que acaba de terminar.
Fábio estuvo con nosotros hace muchos años.
Él estuvo como trompeta solista durante 2 temporadas en nuestra orquesta.
Tocamos en quinteto de metal juntos y a raíz de eso sacamos una gran amistad.
Y es reencontrarse con un amigo que hacía ya tiempo que no veíamos.
Y este proyecto me ha encantado que lo quisiera hacer con nosotros.
Porque creo que es muy importante que se hagan grabaciones con las orquestas sinfónicas.
I had a lot of fun recording this project here.
We've had a wonderful time, a very dense time, a very intense time in this week that we recorded.
After many conversations and many ideas about different names for this project, the name Alchemy came to me and Maestro Noam as the perfect name for this project.
It seemed like every time we touched on something, even though it seemed like a base metal, it turned out to be another piece of gold information that we could build our friendship upon.
The word itself has many different kinds of meanings for both of us, and especially on our friendship, this word has a lot of meaning.
Every time, every couple of minutes, a new thing arose, a new piece of gold, a new gem, a new idea.
I think it's really something that's going to stay in the history of music, because all of the compositions are really well written and really well thought out. The first composer that approached me with the idea of recording was Gabriele Roberto with his composition Tokyo Suite.
Actually, I was commissioned to write a trumpet concerto back in 2015 by the Japanese Philharmonic Orchestra, and that was premiered in Tokyo and Yokohama. I strongly wanted this concerto to be recorded, so I contacted a wonderful soloist, Fábio Brum.
And I was very fortunate to receive a call from him.
And he really liked my composition, and so we started to conceive the project.
And we have had many hours of conversations. I must say that he is like a right hand on this project for me.
I have 2 of my compositions in it. One is the concert that was commissioned in 2015. The other, which I wrote especially for this CD, which is called Solaria. Which is one movement, is very kind of positive and optimistic piece calling for hope.
And all of the others came along this first idea.
We let involve other free composers. All of us has a kind of different styles, so the CD will be very interesting for that.
The next one being Nicola Tescari with 9 moods. He was contacted also by Gabriele.
When Fábio contacted me about a year and a few months ago, I was of course mesmerized, super happy, honored and excited by this proposition.
We've talked so much about the different sounds that he wanted in his piece, which makes the piece very interesting.
But while I immediately said yes, I was also right away confronted with the idea or with the question that I asked myself: is it the right time to write a concerto for soloist and orchestra? These 9 moods have a lot of other individuals, maybe a tiny bit more in the background, but facing with the same conundrums, the same questions that we all are facing these days.
Later on, Dimitri Cervo, this great Brazilian composer, a friend of mine, decided to dedicate his 4 Brazilian seasons to me.
I have a long partnership and friendship with Fábio since a long time ago.
Dimitri Cervo's composition touches a little bit deep in my heart because it's based in Brazilian seasons, and me being a Brazilian, you can imagine how happy I am to have a Brazilian piece with some Brazilian elements dedicated to me.
Representing regions of the country like the Amazon forest, the Pantanal, the Pampa in the south, and the northeast.
The last composer was Menachem Zur, which is Noam Zur's uncle,
whose music has been accompanying me since as long as I can remember myself, basically. Since before I decided to become a professional musician, he dedicated a piece to me for trombone and piano that I played as a teenager. Then the very first piece that I conducted in a professional concert was 20 years ago, a piece of his, a concerto for orchestra. And now to be able to include the Profundis that he wrote for trumpet and chamber orchestra in this recording is of course an absolute present, just for familiar reasons and for familiar reasons.
A while ago I wrote a sad piece called De Profundis that is a soul-searching piece, something that has a lot of meditative qualities. And I chose for that meditation the trumpet as a soul-searching character.
And his piece was dedicated to my teacher, Reinhold Friedrich, but he has never been played or recorded before, so for me it's a big pleasure to be the first one to record such a piece.
My music usually includes a high level of energy and rhythmic qualities that are very vital. And once in a while, I feel the need to do exactly the opposite and compose something that is soul-searching, that is pensive, and that is the way that De Profundis was born.
I'm so happy that Naxos accepted to be part of this recording.
All I would like to say, what an honor it is to be part of the Naxos family with this recording, and
esta grabación supone casi como un puente para seguir con próximas colaboraciones y próximas grabaciones.
They are a company that really believes in new music and
La calidad es altísima y es un privilegio para nosotros también formar parte del catálogo del sello Naxos.
And I need to say that without Stomvi, the company that makes all of the horns, the instruments that you're seeing here, without them, none of this would be possible, because in my head I have so many different sounds to fit in each movement, in each piece that I recorded, that if I didn't have a company like that behind me with their support and friendship, it would be so hard to find the right colors that I have in my head for each of the compositions that have been recorded this week. And sounds really good. I'm very happy that the orchestra accepted the project, as well as Maestro Noam accepted the project, and I must say a really big thanks to all of the composers who really trusted me with their compositions and their music.
Thanks to this recording, thanks to this project, thanks to this week, to have not only new friends in the orchestra here in Spain, to have a very good new friend in Fábio Brum, the soloist, but also to have met 3 more composers who I now also consider to be my personal friends, even though we have not yet met in person.
I hope you will enjoy the CD. I think it's a very beautiful project.
And thank you again to all the people collaborating.
I hope we can see each other again soon.